Number 5.
Yeah. Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Jai.
The nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in the material world. These narrations transmitted by learned sages eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestows good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most magnificent.
The gopis said, O beloved, your birth in the land of Raja has made it exceedingly glorious. And those Indra and the goddess of fortune always resides here. It is only for your sake that we, your devoted servants, maintain our lives. We have been searched everywhere for you, so please show yourself to us.
O Lord of love, in beauty your glance excels the world of the finest, most perfectly formed lotus within the autumn sun. O bestower of benediction, you are killing the maidservants who have given themselves to you freely, without any price. Isn't this murder?
O greatest of personalities, you have repeatedly saved us from all kinds of danger, from poisoned water, from the terrible man-eater Agaha, from the great rains, from the wind demon, from the fiery thunderbolt of Indra, from the bull demon, and from the son of Maya Danava.
You are not actually the son of the Gopi Yashoda, O friend, but rather the indwelling witness in the hearts of all embodied souls. Because Lord Brahma prayed for you to come and protect the universe, you have now appeared in the Satvata dynasty. Sadhu Jata Sat Sarasito Mara Shri Musadrisa Suratanate Sukadasika Varananignato Nehakim Pada Isachalabayat Yala Rakshasa Varsamaruta Vaidyutanara Sakayat Majan Visvatobhayan Rishabhadevaya Lakshita Moho Nakalogopika Gandhano Bhava Akila Dehina Antaratmadri Vikana Sakita Vishwaguptaye Sakharodeyiva Satvatambule Namakamrita Tapta Jivana Kavikiridita Kalmashavana
Jai.
Om Jnanasya Nanjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Sri Chaitanya Manavishram Swayam Rupa Katamaya
Rupam Sagrajatam Sahavanam Vitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
I'm going to start with a story today. Simple story, but with a lot of meaning. There was a biology teacher who was giving a little demonstration one day to his class. We had a jar, glass container on his table, and he filled the glass container with golf balls right to the top. And he asked the students, "Is this container now full?" And they said, "Yes, of course, it's full." So then he took from underneath the table a bag of pebbles, shake the container and pull the pebbles that went in between the golf balls. And he asked again, "Is this container now full?" "Well, yes, of course it is full. Can't get anything else in there." So then he took some sand. He poured the sand in that went in between the golf balls, the pebbles, right to the top. And then one more time he asked, "Is it now full?" What do you think?
No.
No. Then
Water.
He filled it up with water. So he was mentioning how in life we all have priorities. Yeah? And we usually set our priorities. Some of us at least. And but it's a wise thing to do to set priorities in your life. And you could say that the glass container is life itself, and the golf balls, they're the priorities, and all the rest is all small stuff. So we can use the same analogy in the life of a devotee, that Prabhupada pointed out that there are certain things which we do every day which are more important than others. So he writes this in a letter which was sent in 1971. This routine work, such as chanting, speaking, rising early, cleaning, cooking, and offering prasadam, arti, reading books, These activities are the backbone of our society, and if we practice them nicely in a regulated manner, then our whole program will be successful. If we become slack or neglect these things, then everything else we do will fail. So it is very important that we keep your standard very high in these activities. Then our preaching will be strong. Preaching is our real business, preaching and distribution of books. So, very nice letter. Prabhupada uses the word backbone. And if any of you have ever had any problems with your back at all in your life, yes. So what happens when you have problems with the back?
Can walk properly.
You can't do anything properly. Yeah, so sometimes we wonder why so-and-so leaves the Krishna consciousness movement. He was such a great devotee, or she was such a wonderful devotional devotee. And we kind of wonder why. Why did he leave? Why did she or he leave? And the answer is because of neglect in one of these activities. And specifically neglecting our daily 16 rounds. Of paramount importance, and is the real heart, the backbone of everything else we do. We mentioned this morning that when Prabhupada said if you can chant the 16 rounds before 10 o'clock in the morning, then everything else you do during the day will be successful. But if you're still, got 8 rounds, 8 o'clock at night, you're in trouble. But we'll go into that tomorrow because there's some very nice points to make about chanting japa at different times of the day. But we're assuming that you're all getting up nice and early. Taking rest early, getting up early. Well, we could actually have a show of hands, and we'll see. You have to tell the truth, though. So, who takes the rest at 8 o'clock in the evening? Well, I try to. I don't know how many classes. Okay, that was 3 or 4. Good. Who takes rest at 9 o'clock in the evening?
9:30.
Or 9:30. Yeah. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Okay. 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Dare I say 1 o'clock? So, yeah, there's even I don't know here in Finland, but in England we have a saying that the more rest you take before 12 midnight, you get double rest. So let's say you take rest at 8 o'clock. So between 8 and 12 midnight, you get double the rest. You have that saying here, Finland?
We heard it in Krishna consciousness, but not really in Finland.
Some countries have that saying. Yeah, so it's interesting that point because I'll be reading also some other points regarding that. Let me just finish off what Prabhupada says here. This is another letter. Amongst all the devotees, surely we must not forget to complete our 16 rounds. We should not be carried away simply by the Krishna duties, which is also regarded as good as chanting, but in all circumstances we should not neglect, we should not forget this duty, 16 rounds. If you cannot chant your 16 rounds, you should understand you are in a diseased condition. In fact, he even once said that someone who doesn't chant 16 rounds is better than an animal. Quite heavy statement, but I didn't say it. Prabhupada said it. If we are preparing ourselves for the last moment, and the question is, how will we chant? Because everything depends on the level of our chanting. The problem is not time, it is taste. The problem is not quality, quantity, it's quality. There is a nice story. One husband and wife. The wife was chanting, but the husband was not chanting. So the wife would sometimes preach to the husband, come on, you got to chant. And the husband would say, I know your philosophy. And you got to say Krishna's names at the last moment. No problem. So the king that he was on his deathbed, and his wife said, come on, chant, chant, chant. And the only thing he could say was, chant, chant, chant. He could have said Krishna, 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 but he couldn't. It's interesting, isn't it? So this daily chanting, Prabhupada said, is a preparation for that last few moments we have in life. And if we're well practiced, then there's no reason why we cannot say Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. But those who don't say daily chanting Krishna's names will not be able to chant the last moment. So when is the best time to do it? When is the best time to chant? Tomorrow begins today. This is a nice point. Tomorrow begins today, which means what are we going to do this evening to prepare for tomorrow? If you're watching a Hollywood movie, then you're not going to get up in a very good conscious state. But if you, sometimes what I do, I have a iPad with all the Krishna, little Krishna stories, you know, the cartoon ones. I watch them every night. Well, not every night, but I mean, wonderful stories. They're all the stories from the Bhagavatam, but it's in a little cartoon way. And it's cute, it's sweet. There's nothing wrong with that. Somehow or other, we've got to remember Krishna. And there's lots of stories in there, Krishna, little Krishna. So you can go through one each night. After about 1 week, a little bit more than 1 week, you can start them again.
Yes, 13 episodes.
Oh, it's 13, so after 2 weeks. So. Yes, let's have a look here. Shruti Kirti, who was Prabhupada's servant, one day I was in his room in Dwarka, cleaning around his desk. Prabhupada was sitting behind his desk chanting japa. As he pulled down the counter bead, he looked at me with a beautiful smile and said, "There, I have finished my 16 rounds. Now I can do anything I want." No time to chant. Many devotees raising families are challenged to find 2 undisturbed hours a day in focusing on the 16 rounds. And many of the activities that take our time away from chanting are activities that are specifically that we have chosen to do. After the second week, Srila Prabhupada calls this self-created burden. If I am finding it difficult to finish my rounds because of lack of time, I am ultimately the one who chooses to do all the activities that are getting in the way of my chanting. So this is what it means, prioritizing what's most important. Even when I can't really avoid all the work and responsibilities, still, I am the one who is organizing those activities in a way that chanting often takes a back seat to all the other things I do. Let us always try hard to become conscious of our chanting and of the holy names, and to turn off the mind, at least for the time when we are chanting or japa. Put all the worries on the shelf and be attentive within the mind. If I am finding it difficult to finish my rounds because of lack of time, I am ultimately the one who has chosen to do all the activities that are getting in the way of my chanting. There's a very nice statement in the Purana. In this dark age of Kali, Krishna's names are the easiest, quickest, safest, and surest way to attain spiritual perfection. Chanting japa sets the pace for the rest of the day's activities and gives us faith and strength required to stabilize our Krishna consciousness. And this is an interesting point about when to chant and when not to chant, or when to sleep and not to sleep, because it does affect us psychologically, emotionally, and what's the other one? I've probably got it written here somewhere. Psychologically, mentally, and emotionally. So it is stated in the Vedas that when the sun sets, our organs should be in the state of maximum rest. Therefore, best time to sleep is 3 hours before 12 midnight and 3 hours afterwards, from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. So this is what we try to do. And of course, the Brahma Muhurta hour is also. Brahma Muhurta, as far as I understand, the actual timing is 45 minutes before sunrise and 45 minutes after sunrise. Some people ask, well, what about if you're in Rovan, what do you call it?
Rovaniemi.
Rovaniemi.
Rovaniemi. No, because it's dark there.
Or bright.
Huh?
Or bright.
Or, yeah, double trouble, winter and summer. I was in Murmansk once. Murmansk is kind of up there too, even higher, I think.
Yeah, it is.
And it was in the middle of winter. And it was an amazing experience. The sun did not even rise. It was just below the horizon. So there was some light in the sky. That was it for 2 hours, and then sunset again. So one time the boy asked me, why don't you preach in Bali? So I asked him, why should I preach in Bali? He said, well, it's good weather, you get good massages, tropical fruits, all good things. He said there was one devotee there, also he has a 5-star hotel, you can stay in the 5-star hotel. So I said to him, well, I could go to Bali, but I could fall down in Bali with all those nice trees. No, I prefer to go to Murmansk because there's nothing to fall down to. It's such a place, it's unbelievable. It's like not in this world. I'll never forget that experience. But ideally, we must follow the sun and the time. The time follows the sun. We follow both the sun and the time. So, no sleep from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. One's prana or life power will suffer and will affect the nervous and muscular system. One will feel weakness, pessimistic, apathy, mental and physical loss. All that because he didn't sleep at the right time. No sleep between 12 to 2 a.m. You don't get any energy. No sleep between 1 and 3 a.m. One's emotional power runs out and becomes hysterical, and one becomes hysterical and depressed. Those who sleep until 9 a.m. in the morning will meet with depression, reluctance to live, disappointment, anger, uncontrolled habits, and early aging. It is safe to say that keeping oneself awake long after feeling the pressure to sleep is unwise. Sleeping is not something humans can, whether to do or not, is essential for normal functioning of the body. Now, on time also Prabhupada said it's not whether you should rise before sunset, but it's common sense. It's not whether we should or we shouldn't, but it's common sense. That's how he explained it. It's normal. It's the normal. When a person understands that it isn't wise to joke around with time, he starts to take on time. Only after long practice of this day regime will you start experiencing a clarity of consciousness and become more happy. Are you happy? Are you happy?
Haribo.
I've learned so far, don't ask any questions to finish. We tried it this morning. Okay. Okay, any questions on that? Yeah.
Yeah, we can listen that it, and we understand it's wise to go to sleep early, and we can hear that the whole our life. And what's the practical advice is to change that habit, just to be more wise or more intelligent.
Well, one thing that happened to me, because sometimes when I'm traveling and the time factor puts me out, I have to go to Kazakhstan, and that's really way out there. When I came back to Lithuania, I was trying my normal routine, taking rest early and rising early, but it wasn't working. And I found myself sleeping at 5 o'clock in the morning, and even one day it was even 6 o'clock. And I was like, whoa. It was, I knew I needed to change it, but the power of an uncontrolled body is amazingly strong. And if I didn't do something about it, I would have gone right up to, as I say, 9 o'clock. And that's disaster time. So it means that we need to force, we must have an exceedingly forceful attitude to get those timings right.
We need to understand why we need to wake up.
Huh?
We need to understand why we need to wake up also.
Yeah, well, we know that. Because it's easier to chant in the morning. Mind over matter, we need to exercise eagerness. You know, material nature is very powerful too. And as Prabhupada would say that Krishna consciousness is like a tightrope, because, you know, you've got, yes, the spiritual energy is there, but you also got material energy, which is just as powerful. And it's like it's like a fight between the two. So that's why, the routine is necessary. If we come out of that routine, then we start getting, as it explains here, all the physical, mental, and muscular problems. And that's when, we start losing interest in chanting. So it's not whether we should or should not, but we must. Anyone has had experience of these difficulties? Yeah?
Yes.
You want to tell me about it? Oh, that's a question again, isn't it? No? What happened?
The more we sleep, the more tired we are all day long.
Well, we could take a nap. A nap is okay, like half an hour nap. But anything more than that, it starts getting iffy.
I was just wondering how do these strict sleeping and waking up times relate to, for example, acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the six Goswamis whose sleeping was very minimized sleeping times.
Well, we hear over and over again, we cannot imitate the great souls. And Prabhupada would take rest something like 9 or 10 and get up at 1. We cannot imitate that. You go right through translation, japa, morning walk, Srimad Bhagavatam class, take a walk for shadow, massage. Or was it actually after breakfast? I think he would take a nap. And then he'd have his massage and take a shower.
Maharaj, how can we connect the eating times with those sleeping times or waking up times?
Well, I can tell you what I do.
Sure.
I don't take anything after lunch.
That's pretty good.
I just take breakfast and lunch. That's all. There may be some situations if I'm at a program and just to socialize, not commit any offenses to the cook and the what do you call them, the hosts. But then I have certain things which I take. One is apricot kernels. You know apricot kernels?
Apricot, the fruit?
You know the apricot fruit, inside there's a nut. Well, there's a stone first. And if you crack the stone, there's a nut. It's the only nut. It's the only thing, but that's one of the few things that give you vitamin B17. And no one's ever heard of B17 because they don't want you to know because it cures cancer too. It prevents cancer. But they will not tell you. Iron. And there's another thing I take which helps the digestion. Shall I give you a routine?
You can.
Can, but it may not follow. Okay, let's go through this japa during the day, different times of the day. Okay, and we'll finish now. This is japa 3 o'clock in the morning. back straight. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. It's easy. Why? Because there's nothing to disturb you. Not even the mind gets up at 3 in the morning. The mind says, you can get up, I'm going back to sleep. A bird is nothing, it's just pure goodness. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And there's an interesting thing about that time in the morning is that the time factor seems to slow down. And, suddenly you've done 16 rounds and you can't figure out, how did I do that? And the mind is peaceful, or the mind's sleeping. You're attentive because your body is rested. Nothing to disturb you. And the time factor is on your side. This is what happens early in the morning. Very, very special. Okay, this is japa 5 o'clock in the morning. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. What happened? What happened? Your mind is woken up. The rascal mind. Welcome to Krishna consciousness. Well, it gets worse. This is japa, we'll say 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay. The Mataji's, the GP, cleaning your own house. You can do all kinds of things, right? You're well practiced. You can even cook and chant japa at the same time. And the Prabhus, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Sometimes the devotee picks me up at the airport or the train station. If I don't know him, usually I sit in the back seat because I'm well experienced of servants that I don't know. They're like driving like this. And then the phone rings. Yes, Maharaj has arrived. You want to know if he wants breakfast? Okay, I'll ask him. Maharaj, do you want anything? Then And if he's a businessman, then the other phone rings too. And he's like this.
Oh no.
More like this. I want to live another day. But it's so funny. There's a video actually of devotees chanting, doing different things. It's very funny. So better that we don't do that, because of course the body wants to be active. That's the problem. By 9 o'clock, the body wants to be active. You want to do your Krishna duties. So that's why Prabhupada says if you can chant by 10 o'clock in the morning, then you'll have no anxiety. Because it's difficult otherwise to chant after 10. Unless you're experienced. Of course, there aren't devotees who are experienced. And they can do it any time of day without a problem. For young devotees, yeah, so let's do the 8 o'clock one. This is japa 8 o'clock in the evening. And they still got 5 rounds to go or something like that. And you know that time of the night, it's the opposite. It's the time factor speeds up like anything. And you'll be lucky if you can chant 1 round in half an hour. It's very, very difficult. And then you, of course, you have the problem with the mind again. Maharaj, it's time to take rest. Leave me alone, I've got to finish my rounds. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Maharaj, you can finish them tomorrow. There's no one watching. No one will know. And even if you can win over the mind, you've got another problem. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Don't chant at night times. It's all true, right? Is it true or not?
Yes.
Yes. You're well experienced. Okay, so tomorrow morning we'll do another class. It'll be about our attitude in chanting. And that's also very important, what our attitude is. Any other questions?
Finish yantra.
This is worse than Lithuania.
We are not country, we are affected by the,
Modes.
modes of nature.
You're okay. Is this tar color in there?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Okay.
Was falling asleep, sorry.
Syamaradi
Not the one from the
Kamatatsi
class,
nowadays.
but
Huh?
Nowadays is Syamaradi Kamatatsi.
Okay, sorry. You're initiated.
yeah, because the first group
Yeah.
had left.
Good to see you again. Wow. I saw this Ajamita here too. It's like a real deja vu for me. Going back in time. And
Kalpapada.
It's like
It's Lithuania, Klaipada. Kai, say it again.
Kalpapada.
Kalpapada. Kalpapada. Who else do I know?
Parampada. Paramanda, sorry, Paramanda Prabhu.
Yeah. I think he came just before I left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
88. I know he's a friend. 88.
Oh, that was, yeah, okay, yeah. That was exactly when I was leaving. And you're from Helsinki?
Yeah. I've been one
How long have you been here?
33 years.
Ah. So did you come to the Helsinki, Jaakko and Kato?
Yes, I visited Helsinki over there.
Is he
But
not-
not in India.
We came to Ruoholahti.
This is his son.
We came to Ruoholahti. They came to Ruoholahti temple when we were kids.
Ruoholahti means?
Yeah,
The
that
previous,
previous place where you visited 2 times, Maharaj.
Ah, I see, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I have actually a slideshow of those early days. I'm trying to find it. I think I have it in my computer. We'll see. But yeah, Karen, counting days. Interesting days. I was one of the few foreigners here. There was a few students, not many. And everyone knew there was this funny guy from England. They couldn't understand me. And I couldn't understand them. It's funny.
Nobody spoke English, eh?
Hmm?
Nobody understood English for this.
There was English understanding, yeah. Probably more now than before. It's a relief actually for me to be able to give a class without it being translated. Because usually I'm in those kind of places. Anyway, it's very nice to see you all, and feel very honored to be with you. Sometimes devotees ask, you've been a devotee for 50 years, what's your secret? And I say, well, I have 2 secrets. Do you promise not to tell? The first is I've always preached. Always preached. Even as a Grihastha, I preached. Prabhupada said there shouldn't be a day passing without preaching to someone. You want to know the second one, don't you? No, all right.
Of
The
course.
second one is, I've always preached in difficult places. So first it was Sweden. That was also in the early days. And In Sweden, they were more philosophical. You could actually speak philosophy with them. So I would do a free lunch and then show them a film and then philosophize with them. When I came to Finland, it was different. It was a lot different. And what I had to do was make a card. In those days, you had marks here, wasn't it? Marks, Finnish mark.
Coin, yes. Yes.
Huh?
The currency, yes.
Yeah. So I made a card. Remember that card? It was a card. It was money. It was money on one side. I
The
think.
invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 15 marks. I think it was. This card is worth 15 marks. And on the other side was the address, Yakar and Kato. We gave out hundreds of them.
It was not real, just printed.
Yeah, it's just a printed thing, but it was worth. You can come and eat, it's free, worth 15 bucks. That's how we got people to come. Otherwise, they would be afraid to come down into the cellar. Because we're underground. And yeah, then we were giving free lunch every day. And those who are coming regularly, we then arrange for them to come to my cooking class. That was also fun. Vegetarian cooking class. The first one was, I think we had about 10 persons. And the thing was, I didn't do any cooking. They did all the cooking. I just told them what to do. Usually you see cooks, they do all the cooking, everyone watches them. No, I'm going to engage you guys. You need to be engaged in traditional service. So, okay, you make the halva, you can make the sabji, and you can do the pakoras. 10 persons, that's a feast. When we offered it during a time, it's like 8 o'clock at night. I never eat at 8 o'clock at night, but I never missed one of those feasts. Because I believe that Gornitai blessed them, blessed their cooking, so that they were becoming, devotees. So if they managed the cooking, 10-week cooking course, then they would go into a Bhakti Yoga course. And as they went past that, then Krishna comes knocking on their door. Your time is up in the material world. So this is how we were doing things in those days. That was quite fun. And I studied the Finnish people. Prabhupada, when he said to them, you got to study, wherever you go and preach, you must study the people. So, as I said, in Sweden, it was more philosophical discussions. And in Finland, I noticed that I had to do something different. And one of the things I did was discourage people from joining the temple. If they wanted to join, I'd say, no. They said, well, why can I not join? How old are you? Oh, I'm 16 or 17. Oh, you're too young. Even 20-year-old boys, I say, no, go back to the discotheque.
Actually, Maharaj, you made that exactly to me. In 2001, I was planning to join the ashram, and you asked me, how old are you? I said 29, and you said, You said you will never make it. Then I became more like,
Well, that's the
yeah,
point.
I need to
is
do
the
that.
point. That's the psychology. And I knew it worked. It would work. You say no first. And until they're crying, begging you, please let me join. Then I said, okay, you're in. Because then what they do, then is they prove to me that they will never complain. They will always be happy. And they prove to me that.
You was wrong.
Huh?
That you was wrong.
Yeah. That's the psychology with Finnish boys especially.
You said you're too old to be in the Brahmacharya or something like that. So I became determined, yes.
You cannot tell a Finnish boy no. They'll prove you wrong. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Acting 16 rounds every day ki.
Jai.
No.
His Holiness Dhirasanta Dasa Goswami Maharaj ki.
Jai.